What's going on, guys? It is Wednesday night once again, and here we are at Squadron Wednesday Night Live. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. It has been a very busy week. I could probably put that on a broken record and start the show every week that way because every week is busy around here lately, but it is a very good thing. So much stuff coming in, so many things going out. It sometimes gets a little hard to keep up with, to be honest with you. But we're doing it. We're doing it the best we can. We got a wonderful staff. Everybody's working hard to get all this stuff done. Pretty soon, I guess, a couple more weeks, I'm going to start referring to all the guys at the warehouse as Santa's little elves. Tis the season after all. However, we got a lot of stuff to do before then. Just who knows? We got Black Friday coming up. That's going to be fun. We've got if we can get it all pulled together, we've got another segment of the Black Friday. I forget even what we're calling it now, but the pre-Black Friday sales. We've got some things planned for this weekend. This past weekend was good. A lot of you guys had an opportunity to add some good stuff to your stash. So it was a good one, but we've got a lot to do tonight. Got a good show planned for you this evening. Got a big announcement we're going to make in just a few minutes, and we'll get to that. But first, I got to get in here and say hello to everybody. Joseph, it's good to see you, and Rocky Bravo. And by the way, we've been talking the last couple of weeks about everybody's name is now this new little @ thing, your YouTube handle, if you will, if you're watching on YouTube. And I found out why it's doing that. So apparently, YouTube as a whole, not us. I mean, you guys are great, but YouTube as a whole has had a lot of problems with people impersonating people, I guess, and they could. What is this doing? I don't know what that is. The impersonation was causing them a lot of trouble because when you get to pick your own name, you can do whatever you want. So they changed it to where you have to go by your YouTube name now. So it'll take us a little while, but we'll get it. We'll figure out who everybody is. So Wayne, good to see you tonight up at Yellow Wings. Talking about your first snow of the season yesterday. That's yeah, it's getting colder. Jason, good to see you, buddy. Looking forward to the show this Saturday, it looks like. That'll be a good one. Let's see, Rocky Bravo. He is asking about the Hobby Boss MRAPs. I don't know what the release date is exactly on those. We might can figure it out by the end of the show, but whenever they get them ready, we'll certainly have them headed this way. I just don't know off the top of my head. Let's see, Pro Builder, good to see you tonight, and CLRA is here. Looking forward to hearing from Mike and Dave. They're in the back room right now, waiting for us. I told them they had to sit back and relax for a few minutes while I said hey to everybody. Wes, good to see you tonight. Danny, good to see you. And Wayne, Derek is here. Ken's with us. Michael and Two Hands down in the Villages of the White Sands. Good to see you tonight, buddy. Alan's in here with us, and Michael. And let's see, Captain Gothmog is here. All right. Good to see you, buddy. Two Hands, wonder if Professor Pickles, as he's calling him, Dr. Modelstein, he didn't show up he's usually pops in the countdown to say hello, but oh well. Arnell, good to see you tonight, buddy. Chip is with us. Let's see, Two Hands asking for In the Mood again. Well, we got In the Mood for you one week. We'll see if we can work it in again. And talking about show and tell, next week is the show and tell. So everybody remember that. November's show and tell, November 19th. Make sure to send in your submissions for that. We've got a lot of good models already emailed to us. If you didn't notice, we've actually got the next two. It was the next 3 shows already scheduled in the YouTube channel, so you can see what's coming up. Of course, tonight we've got the Mojo guys. Next week we've got the show and tell, and the week after that is going to be aircraft night. Last week when we were doing ship night, there was a couple of you asking, hey, when are we going to have aircraft night? And I told you that we had a really awesome guest planned for that. I just didn't know when. Well, now we know when. So November 26th, I believe, the day before Thanksgiving, we're going to have Dana Bell here with us, and we're going to talk all about aircraft colors. Dana Bell is, of course, an author. He has wrote many books, especially the ones that I that I really like are the ones he wrote for Squadron, the Air Force colors, and just great guy. So looking forward to having aircraft night with him. Let's see. Dave is here. Talk about new air compressors, he says. Well, I don't have too much to talk about it, Dave, but I think this is the one that you're asking about. Galleries. And by the way, guys, so last week we were talking about gallery airbrushes, and I was pronouncing it gallery. I just thought that's how you said it, but I have been corrected. Apparently, this is gallery air model or airbrushes. But this is one of their compressors. Very nice. I have not used it yet. I've got it sitting here to test out, and hopefully after the show tonight, I'll be able to get that running and see what I think about it, Dave. So I'll have to report back with you, but just out of the box, looks pretty sharp. I like it. Let's see. Ed is with us. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. I'm laughing because I know what he's talking about. Rex, good to see you. Recon is in here with us tonight. Good evening, my friend. Lee is here. Byron, Frank, and there it is. We're getting so many guys now that it's inevitable that I'm not going to be able to say hello to everybody every week. So what I'm probably going to start doing is I'm going to go down the list, and as soon as I get to party time, we're going to move the show on. So, Frank, it is party time indeed. And everybody else, hello. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. But we're going to go ahead and get this thing started. We've got, I mentioned that we've got a lot of stuff that's come in. So last week I showed off the current status of the warehouse. And it was between last week and about, I don't know, Sunday, maybe Monday morning, things were starting to look better. We're getting things organized. I saw somebody, it was Frank, a few chats down asking about the 3D print room. It is done. Now we're just building the work desks so we can get the printers set up and do the ventilation and all that fun stuff. So the construction and that horrible concrete, we're done with all that now. But Monday, after we're finally starting to have some room to walk around, another container showed up. So we're slap full again in the aisles, but it's a good thing. All the Japanese stuff that we've been talking about came in, and I sent an email out earlier today, so you may have seen that. All the 350th scale Fujimi ships are here. Those are on the website now, but we've got all of their other products as well, in addition to Hasegawa and Platts and fine molds. Those fine mold zeros, they're here. So just give us a few days to get everything sorted. You saw last week, we all learned what a Trojan horse is, and a lot of these kits are in that same way. So we'll get those sorted out, put on the shelves, and it'll be good. But I do want to show you a couple of kits, and we've talked about these a lot, but I got to point these out because if you're interested in them, you've got to get these on order or you're going to miss out. Possibly miss out. So all right, I'm going to pull the website up. Let's see. Let me show you the. All right, so the Hamden is being released this week by ICM. The 15th of the month is usually when they release their new stuff. So our shipment is going to be on the way next week. Usually takes 2 to 3 weeks to get stuff from Ukraine. So we do have some of these not spoken for on our first shipment. But if you want to get one of these sooner than later, make sure to get one of those on pre-order now. Now, the other item that you do have to get on pre-order, or you might miss out for good, is Edwards B25J Strafer. This is the collaboration kit they did with HK Models, and we had to submit our order 2 days ago on the 10th, as well did all of the other distributors around the world, and that they did an order cutoff on the 10th, and what they got orders for, that's what they're making. And that's it. They're never making any more, at least that's what they say. So we do still have some of these not spoken for. We ordered a bunch of extras above our current pre-orders. But once we sell all of these pre-orders, that's it. They're gone, and you will miss out. So make sure to get one of those on order if you have not already. It's going to be really good. Let's go ahead. I want to bring my buddy Jeff in. I think, where are you at? There you are, Jeff. How are you tonight, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing good. It's always crazy to me that all of a sudden it's Wednesday night again.
Yeah, it's it's funny because we finish a show on a Wednesday, and then we always have like the post-production where we talk about what went right, what went wrong, what could we do better, and then it seems like we keep track of those things, and then the next thing you know, it's like the next day we're already prepping for the next show. It's almost like it's becoming a full-time job.
It's nuts. It's like I feel like, well, I was talking to Tom this morning at the shop, and he'll be joining us for show and tell next week.
Right.
That's kind of the thing he likes to do with us, and it feels like we just did show and tell.
Yeah.
But hey, and I tell you, we've got some awesome models that have already been, submitted. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Can't think of the word I'm looking for. So very, very excited to. Hello. Did you hear that?
Is that Dr. Modelstein? I thought he was supposed to stick to the 5-minute countdown.
Yeah, well, you know him. This is going to be good.
Yes, it's me, Dr. Modelstein. Did you think you were going to make a big announcement without me? I don't think so. Ha!
Yeah, well, you know what, buddy? It is good to see you outside of the 5-minute countdown.
Hey, Doc, all that research you've been sending to us, it's really good stuff. It's, we finally got all those paint colors done, and they're all bottled up, and they're ready to go.
Ah, yes, I did see that. I also see posts all over those fancy social media platforms from the modelers using the paints, and everyone seems to be thrilled with them. You really made a good thing 8 years ago, but I want you to know it was me that left that bottle on your desk labeled secret ingredient all those years ago.
Well, whatever you say, Doc. I drank that bottle that said secret ingredient. I'm just glad everybody likes the paint.
We're seeing more and more models built with it.
Well, Jeff, so with the help of some of my new friends like Stuart Malone and Ron Smith, I will be sending you color matches for World War I colors. And of course, some other things. Time traveling is one thing. But when you guys ask for colors from spaceships from movies, and I have to figure out how to insert myself into films, well, let's just say that gets interesting.
Well, we appreciate all the research you do provide for us, buddy. And hey, speaking of new research, before you interrupted us, we were getting ready to tell everybody our big announcement, our big news.
Well, you can stop right there, because I am going to be making this announcement for you. And no, you have no control because, well, I am kicking both of you out of here for now.
No, you're not.
All right, Squadron fans. If you are a ship modeler, specifically in the 1 to 350 scale, you might have heard some scuttlebutt over the past week or so about a certain resin ship model company. It would seem that Brandon can't do anything in secret if it is related to the model ship community these days. He wanted to keep this under wraps until something was ready to sell. But we just can't keep it secret. Well, I am happy to report that Squadron's newest member of the ever-growing 3D design team is none other than John Warneck E. And Iron Shipwrights and Commander models came right along with him to be rolled into the Squadron family of products. Now, as you already know, Jeff has been hard at work coordinating and managing the design team, but I can tell you that John was able to jump right in and get to work on all sorts of things. There are all sorts of things already in the works for updating, converting, polishing, and releasing. Even Peter is getting involved for fancy box arts. For example, take a look at this new Dutch submarine that will be released as an all-new kit soon. Nice box art, isn't it? There are all sorts of things in the works. Even a certain freighter that happened to sink exactly 50 years ago, 2 days ago. And yes, If the Gordon Lightfoot song is all of the sudden stuck in your head, then you know exactly the ship I am talking about. Now, you might be wondering what will become of Iron Shipwrights and Commander models and the hundreds of kits that were available. Well, since I am a time traveler and all, I can tell you that the future is very bright for completely updated and fully 3D designed model kits of both ship and armor subjects. Will each and every model that was in the list be updated and released? Of course, I know the answer to that. But the Time Traveler's Code, according to my good friend Dr. Emmett Brown, is that we absolutely under no circumstance disrupt the space-time continuum. Otherwise, we could create a time paradox, which would result in, well, you know. Okay. I am sorry. I don't mean to get carried away. All I am trying to say is that only time will tell, and the squadron design and production team is hard at work every day. And I can assure you that products will be available as soon as they possibly can be. Between what was already planned, what is now added to the schedule, and the things that are still in the discussion phase, 2026 is going to be a fantastic year for new releases and re-releases, and acquiring Iron Shipwrights and bringing John aboard the rest of the team is just part of it. I can't wait for you guys to see what is in the works. I suppose I have taken up enough time. I am just glad Brandon doesn't know how to block me from interrupting the show. Well, I will take my leave now, as I know Mike and Kentucky Dave are anxious to get in here and tell us all about the Plastic Model Mojo. I just love that name. Ha!
Yeah.
This guy, we have to figure out how to stop him from interrupting the broadcast.
You know, that's the first time that he's interrupted us in a long time. I thought we had him, kind of corralled into just the 5-minute countdown.
Well, I mean, we took away his D-cell batteries the last time he was here. We kind of thought that was going to solve the problem.
One of these days we got to get him down here and, make sure he realizes that he's not actually a time traveler.
Let's just continue to ride that as long as we can.
I guess
because he is turning up some good stuff for us.
That's true. All right. Well, that's cool. So
he stole our thunder.
Yeah, he stole our thunder, and the cat's out of the bag. Iron Shipwrights is now a part of Squadron, and John Warnicki, the guy that ran Iron Shipwrights, is now a part of our 3D design team. And this is relatively new. It's been in the works for several weeks, but some of you, I've seen the posts on our Facebook page, and we've just all kind of been quiet, but I think it was Friday when the Iron Shipwrights website was turned off and John put his note on there, thank you for your business over the past 30 years. That's when all of a sudden the emails started and,
the text messages.
And John told me, he says, hey, look, we'll keep it secret as long as you want, but I'm trying to not lie to my friends. I'm like, all right, we'll go ahead and tell everybody what's going on. But we do, as Jeff and I have said time and time again over the last several weeks and months, really, Jeff and I both like to put the cart before the horse sometimes because we get so excited about these projects. So I promise we have a lot of plans. We have an actual schedule plan for what's going to happen with the Iron Shipwrights kits and other things. John had a lot of other things cooking. But going to try our best not to actually give you guys any false hope until projects are actually done. Modelstein showed one thing, so I'll just give you a little taste of what we're working on. This is one of the submarines. This is the new look and feel of box art. Peter, I still can't pronounce Peter's last name, but he does all of our box art, so he's going to be doing this kind of stuff for us for the Iron Shipwright stuff. Previous releases and future releases. I've seen a lot of notes from people saying, man, if his stuff was just transferred or converted to 3D, it'd be so awesome. That's kind of what we're working.
That's the plan. Yeah, that is the plan.
Yep.
Anyone who's been in this hobby for any length of time knows that resin casting and resin ship kits, it is a toxic stinky, nasty, messy business to be in.
Oh yeah.
And between the rubber molds and the resin and everything else, you know, I'm hoping that we can take the overwhelming majority of the kits that they've released over the years, and we're updating them with our own parts, a lot of our own 3D printed parts. And then from there, you know, we're going to look at 3D scanning a lot of the hulls and the masters and converting things into 3D printed parts.
Oh yeah, it'll be good. And John, like I said, he's not available tonight, but John is on the team too now. So we'll see. And I got to say this too. Now, when we sent the email out earlier saying that we had an announcement to make, I got a lot of emails. A lot of people just made this assumption that perhaps we were buying Mega Hobby, and that is not the case. And actually, until today, we didn't know about that. Just, you know, no more than any of the rest of you did. But Mega Hobbies, Stevens Hobbies, and AAA Hobbies, their retail store, family business, Mike Bass, Alan Bass, Mike's dad before that. Long time in the hobby. From what we understand, it's time to retire. They're going to sell off all their stuff and you know, go on and do something different. So we wish the best for them. Big name in the hobby for sure, and just, you know, wish the best for their future. So we that is not a part of our announcement by any means or in any way. So
everybody's going to get mad and throw their clipboard down and walk out.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. Well, we got a couple of cool guys in the background that we need to bring on. This is Mike Basket and Kentucky Dave from the Plastic Model Mojo. We've been kind of working with these guys. They run an awesome podcast. There are so many podcasts out there in the model community, and there's about 3 of them that we kind of work with. The Model Mojo has been the ones that I have personally worked with the longest. I love these guys, and I'm looking forward to talking with them tonight. So let's bring these guys in and see what they have to say. Mike, Dave, how are you this evening?
Hey guys,
we're fantastic. At least I am. I don't know about Dave.
I'm fine, but I want you to know, Brandon, every night is airplane night.
Every night is airplane night.
Oh, he threw down the gauntlet there.
Well, you know, Dave, everybody's got their own. You know, I build this or I build that. I'm kind of, I gotta go every way. You know, I've got customers on all sides, and the cool thing for me is I kind of like all of it. So it works out for me.
All teasing aside, man.
To be in that business.
Yeah. All teasing aside, man, I'm happy to hear you having Dana Bell on. Dana, if you've listened to the podcast in the past, I've talked about Dana and his presentations at the Nationals.
Yep.
Those are, when I go to a Nationals, the first thing I do is I check the seminar schedule. And if Dana Bell is on there, I'm going to that seminar, no matter what he's presenting on. Anything from Yellow Wings of the 1930s to the one he did at Hampton was late 40s, early 50s Air Force jets. And I mean, the guy knows more than, has forgotten more than I'll ever know.
Okay.
And I just love his stuff. Just absolutely love it.
Well, good. Well, we will have him on here in 2 weeks. So, of course, we are looking forward to that.
I'm sure Dave will.
I will listen. That's must-see TV.
Cool.
All right. Well, Mike, how about you, buddy? Everything going good? What's new in the podcast world?
We're just always trying to figure out where we're going next. It's been a really good year for us, 2025, for the podcast. Life, not so much, but
right. well, let me back up just a little bit, and I've got a lot of really good customers and people that I would call friends in here. So they, I hope, know I mean nothing negative about this, but we got a lot of old guys in here.
We do.
Tell us what a podcast is. What is a podcast? Where can we hear you? how to, bring us up to speed on what a podcast is just a little bit, just in case we don't know.
Well, in its truest definition, it is an audio only format. Pod comes from Apple iPod. That's where the pod part comes from, which when that device first came out, it was a little cigarette lighter sized box you wore in your pocket or wherever, and you downloaded MP3 files to it or whatever. But once those things got connected to Wi-Fi or the internet, folks started doing shows basically.
Okay.
Kind of become the AM radio, talk radio of the late 20th century, 21st century. The definition is expanded. People on YouTube call their video programs podcasts, but it's a little bit of a misnomer technically, but they can do whatever they want.
Okay.
But it's like a talk radio show essentially. And Dave and I put it out a couple times a week. Go ahead, Dave.
It's a radio show that you can listen to whenever you want to, as opposed to classic AM radio. You had to tune in from noon to 3 to hear whoever do their radio show. This one, you take it in the car with you on your phone and you listen to it, or when you're going out jogging or walking the dog, whenever you want to.
Models.
Okay.
Yes, there you go. Or famously cutting the grass.
Yeah, famously cutting the grass. So where you can find it, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, or the big third parties, you can listen to all our episodes at plasticmodelmojo.com. We have it's a YouTube channel, but we're not into really video yet. So it's kind of a static image kind of thing, but it's an artifact of what kind of happened with Google Podcasts, which went away about a year ago.
Okay.
They moved everything over to YouTube. So you can, we have quite a few people tuning in on YouTube for that too. So lots of places in any kind of, there you go, plasticmodelmojo.com. And you can, so the on the homepage, the most recent stuff's down near the bottom, and then you can hit all episodes and crank through just about everything. So
awesome.
So it's all there. And you see your name there a lot.
Yeah, no, we appreciate that. So, you guys just kind of get on and I guess, at the risk of being wrong here, kind of do what me and Jeff do a little bit. You just get on and talk about models. How do you go about picking your subject matter? I guess you have guests on and you just kind of talk about models in general, don't you?
Generally, yes. And things that, you mentioned earlier, there's a lot of shows out there, and they're all nuanced in one way or the other. They all do things their own way. Typically, Dave and I are pursuing people who are, I would say, not so well known in the hobby a lot of times. And hopefully through what we've done, some of them have become a little more recognized because we think they're fabulous modelers and they're generous with their information and all that. And then we kind of are driven by, I don't know how to say it, probably we're after information somebody may have, be it a guest that's just a modeler or a vendor or what have you. It's genuinely stuff we are interested in hearing about. So that's why we go pursue these folks who are maybe lesser known, I guess. Some of them aren't, but a lot of them are. And that's been a kind of our mode of operation over, it's going on, we're finishing out our 6th year now, I believe. I'm starting to lose count, but
now keep in mind, Mike and I have been friends for 30 plus years, Mike, at this point. Yeah. And I tell people, and this is absolutely true, a lot of what you hear on the podcast is exactly what you would hear if Mike and I are sitting at a table in a Mexican restaurant or sitting at one or the other of our benches.
Except it's in Spanish, right?
Well, yeah, that's right. We've got that SAP.
And tequila. You got to have tequila if you're doing the Mexican.
No, you don't want to lose days. No, but, yeah, we need to look into an SAP channel. Yeah. But seriously, it is a lot of what you hear when Mike and I are recording is he and I talking about stuff that we would be talking about in any case. To be honest with you, this is kind of weird because Mike and I, when we record, we don't have video. So I rarely see Mike. We've only recorded in person together a few times. But a lot of times when we're talking, when we're recording the podcast, I'm not even thinking about the fact that there are people listening to it.
Okay.
It is Mike and I having a conversation about things that interest us. Hey, did you see this new kit announcement? Hey, did you hear this? Have you tried these paints? Or hey, this, that, or the other thing. Or this 3D engine that I got, 3D print engine that I got is amazing. And just talking about stuff like that.
Okay.
Mike's an engineer, and so I learn a whole lot. He knows he has a very engineer's mind, and so
Dave helps you with my tax stuff.
Well, yeah. Let's hope. So I learned about a bunch of stuff. In fact, one night we were sitting around, just the two of us. We were online together, talking, and he was doing CAD work, and he shared the screen, so I got to watch him do 3D CAD work in real time. Mm-hmm. And it was fascinating to me. I don't do 3D. I don't have those talents. I'm a lawyer. I don't understand all that stuff. But it was fascinating to watch. And so, like I said, a lot of the stuff that you hear recorded is the stuff that Mike and I would be talking about just between ourselves.
Well, it certainly brings a natural element to the podcast. And it feels like a lot of times just listening to when you listen to your podcast, you feel like you're sitting at the table with you guys.
And that's what we want.
And although, you can yell and scream as loud as you want, you're not part of the conversation, but you bring that element and you keep the brain moving as you guys are discussing things back and forth. And I think that's, in part, it's part of the broad appeal that you guys bring to the hobby, because you guys were one of the first, if I'm not mistaken.
We were the first in the US. We were number 3. There was OTB, the Podfather.
Yep.
And then Stuart at SMP up in Canada.
Yep.
And then
you guys.
And then we were number 3. And Jeff, you talked about sitting there, you can't contribute to the podcast. But what we do get is all of these listeners who are listening to the podcast, and they can't yell at us, or they can't. But what we constantly get are emails and DMs. Just listen. I can't tell you how many DMs I get when we drop a new episode.
Right.
Where it's like, listening to this, you mentioned this, I tried this, or you mentioned this company, I had their products, they're great.
Yeah.
Or, whatever it is. And I've got a hive mind out there who are giving me more information than otherwise I would ever learn.
Right. And I think in a lot of ways that fuels ongoing episodes.
Yes, it does. We have any number of episodes that were the result of listeners.
Oh, yeah.
Comment. Yeah. In fact, we get a really interesting DM or email. We'll have the listener on to talk about it. If
they'll recommend somebody.
Yeah, or they'll recommend somebody.
Yeah. It's a much more relaxed approach than, focusing on whatever the scandal of the week is in the hobby.
There's plenty of that. Go around. Plenty of podcasts to cover that.
Yeah, we're not into that.
Well,
go ahead.
No, go ahead, Mike.
Now, I was going to say probably the most amazing thing, and Dave and I have said this many times. We started it in large part for motivation for our own modeling. Mm-hmm. That's why we did it. It was an accountability path, and it's been moderately successful. I think we're still both really slow modelers, but we're having fun.
We're getting there.
But that's the main thing. Whether you're
Yeah.
a speed builder or whether you turn out one kit a year, as long as you're enjoying it, you know.
But enjoyment, right? And the biggest enjoyment has been the biggest surprise. There are folks, for instance, now when we go to the national convention, we've now or Heritage Con up in Canada. We've been up there 3 times. We've already have the plans in place to go up there again in March. Had never been up there before the podcast. Not only have we never been there, we didn't even know the people we are bunking with in an Airbnb just outside the venue.
Yeah.
And that's true for the folks we travel to the national convention with. We have friends in Australia that we didn't know 6 years ago that are sending us pictures of them flipping us off all the way from the big show that was down in Canberra this past week down in Australia.
ACT.
Yeah. And that's been the fun part. We've met so many fabulous and friendly people that have gotten to be just really, really good friends. And Dave and I have both met in particular one person each that I think were modelers that we had deep reverence for. Notably for Dave, it was Steve Hustad, who he'd known only by oogling his stuff at shows and for me it was Paul Budzik out in California. I grew up reading his articles in Fine Scale, and those two friendships have just gotten to be amazing.
Yeah,
and we
Steve's
just have a
wonderful guy. He's local. He's local to me, so I see him at all the local area shows, and he's just, he's just, in my opinion, he's one of the top 5 people in the hobby.
He is a wonderful person, and the problem is he's that talented, and he's such a nice guy. You can't even hate him.
No, I mean, and that wouldn't be a reason anyway. But I mean, but he comes down. He comes down to Madison, and he'll bring 4 or 5 kits, and every one of them is a best of. Or I mean, he's just that good.
Well, and not only that, but when you walk up to him, and this is anybody, including somebody he has never met before, walks up to him and says, how did you do that? Or what technique, or and he will sit there and give you 20 minutes of his time explaining in detail exactly what he did, how he did it, what he used. I mean, he will share unreservedly. And it's one of the many things I admire about Steve.
One of the true gentlemen of the hobby, without a doubt.
Exactly. That is a great way to put it.
So I think the net of it is that we're having a lot of fun. We've been doing this. We dropped first in January of 2020.
Right before the pandemic.
Right before the world caught on fire in March. But, here we are about to put a bow on 2025, literally. Almost middle of
How
November.
many episodes have you got out now?
150.
151. 150. 150. We're working on 151's coming up.
Great run.
Nice.
But that's feature episodes. We do these shorts in between now too, so the count's all off with our podcast hosts, but it's a lot.
Well, you mentioned that you kind of just talk about what you like, and obviously you like models, or we wouldn't all be sitting here talking right now. So what kind of models are you guys into? Dave, I know the answer for you is aircraft.
Okay, that's true, but it's not 100% true.
All right, well, tell me.
If it's 70-second scale, I'm interested in it. I've got over in the stash, which Squadron has helped me build over the years. I have everything from a 70-second scale Roman trireme ship to 70-second scale spacecraft to 70-second scale armor. Obviously, a lot of 70-second scale aircraft. If it's 70-second scale, I'm a sucker for. I've got a 70-second scale submersible, deep sea submersible that I think Hasegawa does.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
All right. So you are a 70-second scale guy.
Yes.
Whatever it is. That's a very good scale to pick, because if you don't care about subject matter, you can literally get something from every category.
Yep. That is one of the great attractions, is that if you want to go with range and breadth and the ability to do a lot and still have a manageable storage situation, 70-second scale works on all of those. And price-wise, not bad price-wise.
I started out in 70-second scale because that's all I could afford, mowing lawns when I was 12 years old.
Yep. I never grew up, Jeff.
No, me neither.
I'm still mowing the lawn for an allowance.
Then what about you, Mike? What are you into?
Historically, I've been into 35th scale armor.
Okay.
Dave's rubbed off on me a little bit. Before I got into 35th scale armor, it was aircraft, and I've built most of Monogram's 48 scale single engine planes at least twice each. I'd build their Focke-Wulf 190 and put every armament option that was in the box under the wings.
Now we're aging ourselves, by the way.
When I was a kid, all the blister pack airfix stuff, done it all. Yeah. But I got into 35th scale armor in the early 80s and really never looked back until the podcast started. And then I've kind of slewed over into Dave's lane a little bit, and 72nd scale aircraft. I think I've got all of Airfix's classic 72nd scale watercraft.
Oh, wow.
Those. I've got some real space stuff I need to build. I've got some sci-fi stuff I need to build. It's gotten a lot more diverse since we started the podcast, just because we're getting exposed to so much.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Exactly what Mike said was what I was going to say. I think that the exposure that we've gotten to all of these other modelers has broadened our interests. And so we're not only interested in whatever that one narrow thing was, but now we're much more open to everything from Mike built a Gundam.
I did. Not my choice, but I did build it.
A 72nd scale truck in a Hot Wheels blister pack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you've talked about your podcast. You've talked about your stash. What about the modeling bench? Do you get any time to actually build anything these days?
Lord knows we don't.
It's fits and starts, and it seems like Dave and I are like out of phase 180 degrees. When he's burning it up, I'm dealing with work or something, and vice versa.
Oh, sure.
Dave's holding up what he's been working on since the flowers first started blooming last spring.
What do you got there, Dave?
There's one of the things I'm currently working on. That's a fine molds 72nd scale A7M2 SAM. Okay. That is about 95% done. But Mike and I are both still working. We're both married with children. It's fits and starts.
Yep. That probably explains many of us.
Yeah.
We get ahead, or at least I get ahead of myself. I start a project and it's going so good, and I'm like, I can finish this in a night or two. And here I am 4 weeks later, and I'm still not done. So
you got to dust it off.
4 months later.
Yeah. Well, it'll be 4 months soon enough for me. So on this one,
I feel you completely.
Yeah, when we've had, in fact, we've mentioned Steve Hustad. He's often worried for us that this is cutting into our modeling time too much.
Well,
it hasn't. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it was, years ago when we started Free Time Hobbies, we thought it was the perfect name for our company because, and our logo back then was a clock, and the clock was set on 5 o'clock. So, get off work at 5, go home and build models. Well, shortly after we started Free Time Hobbies, I realized that I no longer had any free time. So yeah, I get that for sure. Now, Dave, I know, and Mike, I don't think you are, but Dave, I think you're going to the Murfreesboro, Tennessee IPMS show this coming weekend. Okay.
I am. I'm looking forward to it. Mike and I went to Murfreesboro many years ago, but neither one of us, I don't think, has been there in quite a while.
I've not been since then.
Yeah, and we know a lot of people down there. A friend of ours, or a friend of mine, well, a friend of ours, is coming up from Birmingham, and we're going to meet at the show and hang out. We know the people who run the show, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, good. That's great. I wish I could be there. It's only like 2 hours from here. I should be there, but I've just got some obligations that I don't think I'm getting out of this weekend. But
well, and this time of year is so tough for that.
Yeah,
the window's closing.
Yeah,
for sure.
It is.
Jason over here in the chat, Dave, wants to know if your Bearcat's coming to Murfreesboro.
It is indeed. In fact, I will hand it off at Murfreesboro. The Bearcat was built originally as part of a group build that was entered in Hampton. And so this Bearcat belongs with that group build. And I'm going to bring it down. And Dr. Geldmacher is coming up from Birmingham. He's bringing the rest of that group build, and it'll get put into that and entered, and then Dr. Geldmacher will take it back.
Okay.
So it will be there.
Well, that's all. Group builds are always fascinating to me, and I'll just go ahead and ask everybody in the chat: have any of you guys, and let us know in the chat, have any of you guys ever been involved in a group build, whether it's an IPMS club or something totally different? Have you ever been involved in a group build? Because it's a neat thing. And Mike, you or Dave, I mean, you guys, obviously Dave is, but I mean, do y'all do these group builds? When you go do your podcast, do you see these group builds being displayed a lot?
There's a lot, from the podcast perspective, some of the other pods have done group builds to be entered at the national convention or AMPS or what have you. We've not, because Dave and I had kind of a love-hate relationship with group builds.
Okay.
It's part of the obligation factor of it can be a buzzkill a lot of times.
Okay.
But the motivation factor can be motivating.
That's a personal thing. Some people love it, I'm sure, or they wouldn't exist the way they do. The one it's kind of a quasi group build. It's this Musaru Cup thing that the podcasts do.
Yep.
Really, that's the only one I've really participated in, because if I don't, and it's even that one's tough for me, because if I don't have a vested interest in the subject, it gets hard to stay motivated.
Oh, I can see that. And I think group build means so many different things to so many places. And down here in the chat, we've got a lot of people, just kind of a mixed bag of people that have done it, that haven't done it. Ben Gibby says he has, but he failed badly, so
that's the downside.
Right.
Yeah, I was the guy that put together the B-17 group build for San Marcos.
Okay.
And I will never do that again.
Those group builds that show up for the nationals are sometimes they're just mind-blowing how many different things get put in those groups.
Hey, Jeff, I like the fact that you picked a small subject in a small scale.
And that was part of it. We had a group together and we were all talking, and I was thinking P-47s, P-51s, something along that line, and somebody came up with the bright idea of B-17s. And all of a sudden, in 48 scale, and everyone just jumped on it. And I'm kind of like, I got to call. I don't even remember who the contest chairman was for San Marcos, but I'm like, I got to call the contest chairman and tell him we're bringing 24 48 scale B-17s and we need table space.
That took up like 4 tables.
Yeah, I think we had 4 tables.
That was a success. I mean,
it was impressive. I remember it to this day.
Yep.
Now, I'll tell you this, one of the group builds that I am personally looking forward to, seeing this year, you guys were there. Do you remember last year at the AMPS Nationals, the Dora that was raffled away in the raffle?
We did not make the
You weren't there?
in Pennsylvania.
You're right. I'm
We were
getting the
there
last,
year, right. We were there the year before in
in
Fort
Fort
Wayne,
Wayne, in
South Bend.
South Bend, where we're going this year.
Yeah.
I keep getting these 2 years mixed up. This year in Pennsylvania, they raffled away a Dora, and the guy that won it decided to take it to his club, and they turned it into a group build. So they all kind of tag teamed this Dora, and from what I understand, they sent me some pictures. They're done with it, and they're planning on taking it to a couple of shows, and then they're going to retire it at the AMPS Nationals this year is their plan.
Fantastic.
So they just divvy out the sub-assemblies and parts and
pretty much, yeah.
I mean, it's really, in reality, it's the true definition of a group build.
Right.
You know,
that's true, because it's one subject. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Now and I'll tell you this too. It's not technically a group build, I suppose. But Jeff, I know that you were involved in one, and several months ago, Ed Grun and a couple of his buddies were involved in, I guess, renovating or fixing or whatever that Titanic at the museum. So you see that a lot of times too, where a museum will call on a model club to come in and fix a display model or whatever, and that's technically a group build too, because the club's
we're in the middle of that right now. If any of you have ever been to the EAA museum in Oshkosh, they have this massive display case that is a 1/144th scale B-17 bomber base in Europe. And it's parked right next to the 72nd scale Essex class aircraft carrier that they have there, or maybe it's a Yorktown class, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Well, that display is getting a little long in the tooth. So we did a P-47 group build at Nationals in Madison, and all of those models and a whole bunch of vehicles are going to go into this display case at EAA, and we're doing a 48 scale P-47 base on D-Day.
Well, and I know that out in Seattle at the Museum of Flight, there's a club that's their meeting space, and part of their deal with the museum is they've got a case and they do rotating displays that the club members all build and contribute to.
Right.
Wow. Before the chat scrolls up to where I forget about it, I got to point this out real quick. Mike B says he wants to invite everyone to their model show in Buffalo, New York, April 12th.
Yep.
So yeah, there you go. Everybody check that out. A little ways out, but put it on
that's a long standing show there.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
That's a good topic. A thing Dave and I started about, how long have you been doing it, Dave? About 2 years, maybe?
What?
The model show spotlights.
About 2 years, just about 2 years.
And, you Brandon, you've been doing it too here of late.
Oh, you're just talking about promoting the local shows?
Local shows, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a good time, and I know a lot of guys have been to a show, so you get it. But if you've never been to one, you're not going to go to one unless you hear about it and hear how fun it is, and it's a good time. So,
well, I think we do get feedback that folks have showed up to these things because they heard about it. That's not only part of it. Kind of what the motivation or the background for it is the more people hear about shows, they may not go to the one you're talking about,
right?
But they may be inclined to go to one that's close to them, because we have listeners all over the world.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
We're picking and choosing a couple to do, but not everybody can get. I mean, we're not going to go to a show in San Diego,
right? But
I can't get one in Murfreesboro this weekend.
I'd go to a show in San Diego if it was in the middle of winter and it wasn't 30 below zero up here in Wisconsin.
Amen.
I'd go to San Diego in February, sure.
One of the things Mike and I, we're fans of shows. Not necessarily for the contest, although the contest, if you're into that, it's great. I love seeing the models that get entered. But modeling can be a solitary hobby for a lot of people.
Sure.
And if you don't go to model shows, you're missing out on the interactions that you have. And what a model show does is it puts you in a room full of guys mostly that have the exact same or very similar interests that you've got.
Right.
And you speak the same language already. And you're going to stop and you're going to talk to somebody that you've never met before.
Right.
And you're already going to have a ton of stuff in common, and you're going to start talking. And the next thing you know, you've had a 20-minute conversation, and you're off to the races with a new friend.
Absolutely.
And you missed the judges meeting. So
and you missed it. Well, that's a plus.
Well, hey, real quick, I think I might have started something, so I'm going to go ahead and say it in advance. If I miss one of these, I apologize. It's not my intention. But Ransomely, however you say that, that tag there, he's inviting us all to his show in Michigan in February. So there you go, guys.
I might go to that one. That's actually within driving distance.
Close enough to you.
We actually had them on the spotlight last year.
Oh, okay.
It is
4M Model Mayhem.
It just amazes me that there is somebody holding a model show in the middle of Michigan the first week of February.
Hey. Well, we actually have a show here in Minnesota called Hope It Don't Snow.
Oh, yes.
There you go.
And that's, I think it's the same first weekend in February. And there have been a couple of times I've gone to that show and I've had to call my wife and say, I can't come home because it's a blizzard.
Gotta get a room,
I'm getting a hotel room and I'm staying overnight. When they plow the roads, I'll come out.
Well,
it's a different life, Dave. I mean, life doesn't stop in Norway in the wintertime.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They are just a hardy people up there.
Here's your official invitation to the Chattanooga show. Ben Gibby, he's the club president down here. He says, hope the Mojo guys can make it to ModelCon. So that's
I will be there.
That's they're pulling back to their original date. So it's not even been a year since their last show.
We need to call it Hope It Don't Snow either. And see, here's the thing, before you guys get started on me, I know we don't have real snow down here, but Jeff knows this firsthand now. If the road, it's not the snow we're worried about. It's the snow that melts and then refreezes that night because it's not cold enough during the day to stay snow. And then the next morning, it's solid ice. Yeah. That's our problem. And our county, we probably have one snow plow and salt truck, and it's in the back of the work shed, and they got to find the battery to put back in it.
Yeah, it hasn't been fired up since 1978. Yeah.
Well, hey, here's something cool, Mike. And do we talk about some plans at one of the larger shows next year? Are we a go with that?
Sure. All right. Opportune time to
there you go. So, perhaps the largest model show in the United States, the IPMS Nationals. We like to make a big splash there. And of course, you guys like to make a big splash there. And this year we're going to kind of team up and do it together. The Model Mojo, Plastic Model Mojo table for doing their podcast is going to be in the Squadron booth this year. And they're going to be, well, Mike, you can tell us what you're going to be doing, but you're going to be doing all your show coverage from right there in the Squadron booth, if I understand correctly.
We'll be doing our normal show coverage that we do. And then it sounds like we may be MCing your live stream as well.
There you go. We got all sorts of plans. The live stream we did last year, the only reason I even turned it on was for Dad, because he wasn't able to come, and he said, hey,
try to keep him entertained.
Yeah, he said, hey, turn the camera on so I can feel like I'm there with you. And lo and behold, we had a few dozen people watching every day. No idea why. I was like, why would you want to just sit here and watch this all day? But I asked a bunch of them after, and they said, man, I was just sitting in my model room building models. I turned it on the TV screen, and it was great. I felt like I was there with you. So we're going to try to plan it and do it bigger and more extravagant this year, and not make it a last minute thing, and having you guys there to kind of head that up and let everybody know what's going on. It's going to be a great thing, and I'm looking forward to it.
And Brandon,
it'll come off better than watching bowling on ESPN 23 or something.
Brandon, I don't know how you all could get any bigger than Hampton. I mean, it's like you took a warehouse and just moved it to the Nationals for 4 days.
Well,
you pick up Iron Shipwrights and Commander Series and
Yeah.
keep adding to the stack.
you know, you adding to the stash. The thing about it is, so my brother, you know, he's here with us, and of course, Dad, and we've got everybody else. But I've been working with Dad the longest, and my brother the second longest, and they would tell you that that's just kind of how I roll. I can't help but try to outdo myself year after year, and it's not. It's for no other reason than for my own personal fun. It is truly something I love doing. You know, my dad tells me stories about when I was a kid, the way that I would make money to buy something I wanted is I'd go find something in my room and I'd go sell it on the street to somebody, or, you know, take it to school and, hey, you want to buy this from me? He told me that, you know, when I was probably 8 or 9 years old, I would set up a stand at the football games, the local football games, and sell football cards. So I guess I'm just naturally a salesman, and I just love doing that. I love setting up a big display and having, because earlier when they were talking about Stevens and Mega closing up, there was a lot of comments in the chat about all the hobby shops closing up these days, and it's a very true story. So at the National, and not just the Nationals, but at all the model shows, but Nationals especially, Nationals always advertises that for 1 week it's the largest hobby store in the world, or at least in the country, and that's true. And a lot of guys, and you know, Dave, you're talking about most of them are guys, and they are, but we got a couple of gals in here. You know, Kimberly, she's turning into a pretty good modeler on the show and tell every week. But a lot of guys, gals, customers, friends, whatever, that Nationals, that vendor room, that's the only hobby shop they ever get to go to, and they get to go to it once a year. So my goal is to make sure, and there's a lot of other really good vendors in there, but if we were the only vendor there, I want to make sure that everybody has the absolute best experience they can for the most stuff to look at. And that's just what I like doing.
Well, I can't wait to see what you do in Fort Wayne, because, man, Hampton blew my mind. It was like, this goes on forever.
Well, I'm glad that you liked it. And we've got some big plans, and hopefully we can pull it off, and, you know, hopefully we can do what I like doing and go bigger than we did the last time.
Go big or go home.
Yeah, yeah. There you
go. We may have some tech to figure out, but
we'll
talk about that a little later.
Oh, it's going to be good. So
we have an extension cord for you. You're on your own for everything else.
There you
go.
Oh gosh, yeah. There you go. Ed's asking about Jared and his allergy test. Yeah, my brother's decided he's probably allergic to something, so he's been going through all the, you know, getting the shots every day, trying to figure out. And all right, so he's.
I had the back scratches when I was a little kid.
Really?
Old back scratch test. Oh man.
Well, Jared is doing fine. He's I guess he's getting closer to figuring out what he's allergic to. He's pretty sure it's pollen, like, you know, probably everybody else.
Have you ever thought maybe he's allergic to you?
Well, you know,
I mean, that's always a possibility.
The only time I ever hear him complain is if I'm with him, you know. But
well, see, there's a little red flag indicator there.
Shut up.
Oh yeah. Well, so this is great. You know, the podcast. I'm so glad that you guys. I didn't realize that you were the third one and the first one in the country. That's very cool. There are so many, like I said, so many different ones of these things out there, but it's great that you guys were amongst the first and you're still cooking with gas. Meeting guys. I always hear, I'll get emails from time to time. You know, guys will tell me something they heard on your show, whether it's a new model and they're asking if we have it, if they can get one. I hear a lot of good things about you guys.
Well, vice versa, Brandon. We hear from our listeners all the time about they placed orders with Squadron and the service, how quick it was, how friendly it was, how Squadron will go out of their way to get them what they want or what they need. And we've said it on our podcast a bunch of times. We like to find the really good vendors in the hobby space, the people who go above and beyond, and promote those people, because I mean, they're doing stuff to make the hobbyist life better, and you can't help but want to promote that.
Well, one of my favorite things about, and you guys have touched on it, but one of my favorite things about the hobby, and yes, obviously, this is how I make my living. I mean,
Sure.
I'm in it to make money, obviously. But put all that aside, the people in this hobby, you know, I always refer to my customers as my friends, because truly that's what ends up happening. I mean, the first time you buy something from me and I talk to you, you're a customer, but then you keep coming back, and before you know it, you know, we're friends, and it's great. And I really thank you guys for from working with us. I know that you promote us on your podcast. We're trying to do the same for you. I want to do something here. Tell me, Dave, you do 70-second scale.
Yep.
What's one of the kits you're eyeballing right now? I mean, what's a new kit that's on your mind?
I can tell you there's two that I am looking at.
All right.
Just did one, Dave.
Fine Molds released 48 scale late model 52 zeros in 48 scale.
Yep.
Then shrunk them down, and they just released them in 70 seconds.
Okay. All right.
And that one that tickles my sweet spot so hard it's not funny.
Well, I'm glad you said 72, because when you first started out at 48, I'm like, hold on, Dave.
I was getting confused too.
Now, Mike, let me ask you this. How are you with 48 scale zeros? Is that, you like these? Here's what we're doing. I'm fixed to give one of these things away to somebody in the chat.
All right.
Yep. So somebody's about to win a 48 scale zero.
Those are beautiful kits.
Yep. And we're doing the 48 scale because I have those now. I don't have the 72 scale. So we're going to give one of those away. All right. Well, then this is this 48 scale zero. We're going to give this away to somebody in the chat. And this is from Squadron and from Plastic Model Mojo. And all you guys have to do, and if you've been on our show before when we've done this, you know how it works. All you've got to do is type the word Mojo in the chat, and that will put you in the running.
All lowercase letters.
All lowercase, just like you see it here. So we're going to give one of these away. Dave picked the subject. We didn't have his scale, but 48 scale, who's going to complain, right?
Yeah, it's a beautiful kit. I mean, I'm glad they shrunk it down to 72nd, but oh my gosh, it is just a gorgeous kit.
Right. Well,
I mean, next level engineering.
All right. Well, since we're talking about 48 scale or 72 scale and next level engineering stuff, Dave, have you seen this new F-14 that Tamiya is putting out?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Careful, you're going to give him a heart attack.
Yeah, exactly. Modelers have 72nd scale modelers have a list of Tamiya kits that they want them to shrink down their 48 scale kit to 72nd scale. And this has been at the top of that list for 15 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or more.
Well, the amount of pre-orders and requests we're getting for this, that lines up with exactly what you're saying, because I don't know. It's going to be great. And just so you know,
a small model in 72nd scale.
No, it's not.
It's a big plane.
Yep. And Dave, just so you know, those 72 scale zeros from Fine Molds, those are a part of the next shipment, but it's probably,
I know,
several months out. Fine Molds has a odd, I mean, it's odd to me. It's probably normal to them, but they have a little bit different production schedule than most companies. But
I think it's because they fit it in with somebody else's production.
Right. It's an unusual company. That brings up a question, Brandon.
Okay.
My family wants to have answered.
Okay.
My family wants to give me Christmas gifts, and they always want to give me models, and they're they don't know what I want or anything.
Hey, that's not a bad thing.
Does Squadron have gift certificates or gift cards or any way?
We do. Let me show that to you right now. And actually, I've got to go. I'm going to do it right now while we're talking about it. I had it turned off, and now I have it turned back on. So the reason we have to turn it off sometimes is because dang thieves. The easiest way to use a stolen credit card is to buy something digital. And
Right.
if you buy a product that has to be shipped, it's easy to catch you.
Right.
We've got systems in place now that we can catch you anyway. But what they do, they'll go buy a $10 gift certificate, and they don't just buy one. They buy about 500 to 1,000 of them. And they're not, well, no, they're not even trying to use them. They're using us as a platform to find out if their stolen credit card numbers will work. So if it goes through for my $10 gift card, then they'll go out to, whatever website.com and use it to buy whatever they're trying to steal. So, but I just turned it back on. So if you see at the very top of our page, there it is up here, gift certificates, go to gift certificates. You just fill this out. Let me go fix that real fast. Hold on.
Well, my oldest daughter called me today and she's like, Dad, what do you want for a gift certificate to buy a fine mold 72nd scale zero when they come in right after the new year?
Yep. Well, this is what you do. She goes to the gift certificate. She goes, here to Dad, and here's $1,000 gift certificate.
There you go. You can get a bunch of them.
There you go.
That's as big as your Tamiya zero stack.
That's why she's my favorite daughter.
Yep. There you go. There you go. Well, that is how it works. It's usually there. If you ever see it not up there, it's because I'm on a dang scam,
right?
Rodeo again. Just shoot me an email and I can activate it again. But as soon as I turn it off for a day or two, they move on to a different website, and then I can turn it back on, and I'm good for a few months until they find me again. But yeah, we do gift certificates. That is not a problem at all.
That's fantastic.
Christmas is an interesting segue to something I was going to talk about.
Yeah, go ahead.
Squadron was born in 1968.
Yes.
Brandon, when were you born?
1985.
1985. Okay. I was born in 1968.
Okay.
I'm the same age as Squadron.
Yep, same here.
Christmas 1985. I was a senior in high school.
Okay.
The young lady I was dating in high school bought me these two books right here.
Wow.
Via assistance from my mother and a Squadron catalog or flyer. I don't know which one. Christmas 1985.
Wow.
How about that?
Yeah, that's that's awesome.
So Dave and I are thrilled you've been working with us, because we really, the legacy of this brand is just amazing. And it's just really cool that you've reconstituted the way you have.
Well,
and it just seems like no end in sight.
Well, I really appreciate
I feel like you hang around long enough, we're going to be working for you. The way things are.
That's right.
It's a lot of fun. It really is a lot of work, but it is a lot of fun. And honestly, and I've said it so many times, and I'll never stop saying it. The awesome customers and friends really make it very, very, very enjoyable. So, and Mike, Ed wants to know, so did you marry her after she gave you the book?
I did not.
Did not.
That's another story.
Yeah, Ed just had to ask. And guys, real quick, remember, type in Mojo in the chat for a chance to win this zero. We'll do the drawing here in just a few minutes.
We should. And while I can honestly say that this has been lots of fun and laughs and positivity, there is something that we probably do need to address that a couple of people have been caught up in recently. And that is, if you are in the Facebook scale model community, you are likely to see ads for TamiyaUSA.com. And I had a friend order through TamiyaUSA.com a 1/12 scale race car kit, which are not cheap. And
No.
the price was too good to be true. And lo and behold, he got scammed. So there are, even if you don't order from us, we don't carry everything, but even if you don't order from us, please, do your homework, do your due diligence. Don't ever click any links through Facebook.
Yes.
Never click a link
unless you know who it is exactly. And Jeff, the Tamiya USA, it's Tamiya-USA.
-USA.
So
TamiyaUSA.com in one word is the legitimate website for Tamiya USA. Tamiya-USA.com is a scam site, and their prices are too good to be true, and people fall for it and they order, and you don't get anything. And if you use a debit card instead of a credit card, you're pretty much out of luck.
Yeah, if you see any ads on those groups, even if it's a Squadron ad, look at the ad and say, cool, and then go to squadron.com, because if we run an ad on Facebook, which we do from time to time, whatever that ad says, our website's going to match it perfectly, and Tamiya would do the same if they were running an ad in any of these. So just watch out, guys, and be careful.
In all honesty, everyone does it. Sprue Brothers does it, and Andy's does it, and AAA Hobbies did it, Mega Hobby did it. All of the people in our industry who sell kits. It's unfortunately, it's just the way it is. There are people who take advantage of it.
Yeah, we don't want to see you guys get scammed.
Let me do my attorney public service announcement.
Perfect. We have an expert.
Honest to gosh, I deal with this all the time. Do not ever, under any circumstances, use a debit card online. Ever. You should have a credit card with a small credit line that, I know people hate credit cards, and rightly so, but you should have a credit card with a small credit line that you use for all of your online activity. There is a huge difference between a debit card and a credit card regarding what your remedies are. And people use debit cards online and they get their whole account emptied, and there's no way to get it back. Whereas it's easy to reverse a charge with a fraudulent charge with a credit card. And I'm an attorney, and honestly, I deal with that issue twice a week. Dealing with clients who've made that mistake.
I had a good friend of mine who sadly has passed away a number of years ago. I feel especially bad because of the circumstances. We used to do a gift exchange every year. And he was buying my Christmas gift, which was a model kit online, and fell for this scam. And they took $16,000 out of his bank account. And he had zero recourse. Because he used a debit card.
People do not realize that. People do not realize that. And 99.9% of the time when I'm talking to a client, it's all the barn doors open, the horse has gotten out, and there's nothing I can do.
Yeah, don't do it. If you absolutely have to use a debit card because you don't have a credit card, can't get whatever, then have a separate checking account. And if you're going to buy a $20 model kit, put $20 in your account and buy it, and make sure your bank is set to not let an overdraft on your debit. That's the only
other option.
The
other option is use the prepaid Visa gift cards.
Yeah, you can do that too.
You can buy those in the grocery store or the pharmacy. You get a $50 or $100 Visa gift card, and you can use those, and those work just fine.
Yeah, pretty much just be careful and don't let anybody take your money. That way you can buy more stash from us.
Absolutely.
That was my thought exactly.
There you go. Hey, here's a fun one for you guys. So Pete says, question for Mike and Dave. I heard about one of the first nationals you guys attended, and you had a breakfast. Can you elaborate on that?
That was Las Vegas. That was the first time 2021 Las Vegas Nationals. We had never met any of the other podcasters. We all go to the, let's see, We were there. The posse
The
was there.
hotel restaurant, yeah.
Who I'm trying to remember who else was
The
there.
Plastic Posse podcast guys and the Model Geeks guys.
Yes, and we all had just met in the vendor room the night before, and it was like we were all standing there, and of course, immediately become fast friends. In fact, we had communicated with these guys because just like when Mike and I decided to go into doing a podcast, we reached out to Dave Goldfinch on the bench. And Dave was super generous
Great
in
guy.
giving us advice and all, not at all closed off and trying to keep the space to himself. Well, after Mike and I started, the Geeks started and the Posse started, and they both reached out to us, and we paid it forward and gave advice to both of them. So we had known these people, but this is the first time we met. We were in the vendor room. We were sitting there talking and talking and talking. And I think it was one of the Model Geeks was like, let's all get together for breakfast the next morning. And so like at 9 a.m, we're down in this casino restaurant at a long table with like 25, 30 people having breakfast. And it was the beginning of some of the most enjoyable times I've ever had.
That had to be Frildo because he'd fight his grandmother to be first in line at Waffle House.
Well, and whatever you do, be careful shaking hands with Frildo. That man will crush your.
He's got the kung fu grip.
That's funny. All right. Well, we are about to give away a 0.
All right.
Last chance, guys, to put Mojo, just like you see it here on the screen, in the chat. But before we do that, last thing I'm going to do, and then we're going to give that away, is...
And there's Frildo commenting.
There you go.
Got his attention, at least.
There you go. All right. Last thing I'm going to say before we give a 0 away and give a 0 away and get out of here for the night. I got to say this, guys, I appreciate you so much. I appreciate what you say about us at Squadron. We appreciate you. But no matter how much good we do for the model community, whether it's you guys, whether it's us, it is nothing compared to our veterans. And I know Veterans Day was yesterday, but guess what? Our live show is tonight, not yesterday. So I got to say thank you to all of our veterans, past, present. It doesn't matter. We appreciate you guys and gals more than you can possibly imagine. And we would not be able to sit here and build models and talk about models if it weren't for you guys. So thank you again, more than you can possibly imagine.
And there's an overwhelming number of vets in our hobby. Obviously, when you look at the aircraft builders and the armor builders, a lot of guys are building stuff from their careers. And then, and that inevitably leads to the old Army versus Navy, go Army beat Navy. And then Navy kicks Army's ass in the football game. And we hear about it forever and ever. But this goes all the way back to our fathers and our grandfathers who, broke into this hobby way back in the day and got us interested and helped, perpetuate where we are and where we're going. So awesome. Thank you.
Yep. And Benjamin, I said that was the last thing I was going to say, but I forgot. Benjamin has asked me 5 times, and I've been trying to get to you. I apologize. Thunder Models, that is a brand that we do have a line on. We have just not, we talk about adding new brands every month. That one's on the list. They want to work with us. They're excited to work with us. It's just a matter of getting them in here, and hopefully you will start seeing them in 2026, along with several other brands that we've already got a big yes, please carry our stuff from. It's just, getting a new brand into the system, getting everything done. It just takes a little time. But Thunder, they do make some fantastic models, and we're looking forward to getting all of their kits. So stay tuned. More on that to come. And now we're giving away a 0. You ready? We got 93 people that have typed in Mojo to try to win one of these things. So
all right.
Who is it going to be? Let me remember how to do this. Oh, yeah. Here we go. All right, here we go. And if Jeff wins, then, you know.
That everybody yells rigged and I'm out of a job. Oh, look at that, Danny.
Danny, one of our, there's a lot of you guys that have been watching forever, but I think Danny was one of the very first guys that's been watching us. Yeah, I guess I got to figure it out. We've been doing this for probably over 2 years now. I'll figure out exactly how long it's been. But Danny, awesome, buddy. You know how this works. Shoot me an email. Let me know you were the winner of the Zero. There are 2 different versions of that 48 scale Zero. I'm sure you're aware of that. In your email, tell me which one you want. It doesn't make a difference to me. You pick, and it's yours. I'll get it shipped out to you.
Every time I talk to Danny, I get hungry because Danny's other hobby is smoking meat.
Oh,
So he'll send me a message and he'll show me what he's working on. And then the next thing he sends me is like the latest brisket that he's just, and I'm like, I'm sitting here looking at a McDonald's cheeseburger or chicken nuggets or something like that.
Well,
And
he's
smoking a 10-pound brisket. And I'm like,
he's one of our biggest fans of the Squadron hot sauce.
Yeah, he is. He is.
He is. So
really good guy.
Located generally.
Where's Danny live?
Yeah.
Danny, where are you?
Yeah,
where are you
Danny.
parked?
Yeah, tell us in the comments, where are you at, buddy?
Tell us where you're parked.
I should know this.
Yeah, we should, but
I'm going to find out before he tells us. He's up in North Carolina.
There you go.
That would explain the smoking the meat.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I had a hunch, and that counts.
Yeah. This has been great, guys. This has really been cool. So thank you so much. Absolutely. Rocky Bravo says, wait, you sell hot sauce? We absolutely do.
Yeah.
Yeah, this, I love my hot sauce. So check this out.
How many?
Brandon is the only guy I know. Most people, a lot of people in the South will carry a knife on their hip. Some carry a gun on their hip. He carries hot sauce on his hip.
Here you go, Rocky. If you go to other products and then novelty items, scroll down a little bit. We got 6 different hot sauces, and you can kind of imagine which one's the hottest, starting with P47 as the least, P51 is next, and it goes all the way on up to P29, which is the hottest.
The nuclear option.
Yeah, Carolina Reaper peppers make that up. So
that's the nuclear option.
Oh yeah, it's good. We have a really good time with that. We're getting close to the end of the run on a few of those. So actually, we're already sold out of the P51. So I'm trying to think what we're going to do for hot sauce for next year. Maybe get some tanks and ships. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be fun.
Yep. Good stuff.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap us up for tonight. Mike, Dave, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for having us on.
Absolutely. We'll do it again sometime.
Sure thing.
Been a lot of fun.
Had a great time.
Well, we'll talk to you. Yeah.
Before we do jump out, somebody pointed out, and I think it may have been Jason. He said, we should do a squadron group build for the next national convention. between you guys promoting it on the podcast and us doing it through the squadron Facebook group, we might be able to have a pretty good time with that.
Well, let's give it some thought. Figure out what that would be cool. That'd be interesting. All right. Well, guys, I'm gonna let you go, and Dave, Mike, hey, don't get out of here. Hang around backstage. We'll talk again in a minute. Yeah.
All right.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for watching.
Jeff, see you in the morning.
Good guys, real good guys.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll hit it hard in the morning and keep going, I guess.
Oh, I'm in the middle of database.
All right.
Stuff.
Well, you have fun with that. I'm going to go play with this compressor and see what it's all about, and we'll catch you again next time, buddy. Have a good evening.
All right. You too. Take care.
Absolutely. Guys, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate you hanging out with us. Always a lot of fun. Next week, show and tell for November. Make sure to send your pictures of your model kits that you've built to info@squadron.com. We're really excited to show off everybody's model. Jeff will be joining me. Tom will be joining us again. And we are going to have a fantastic time taking a look at everybody's builds. Y'all take it easy, and we'll see you next week.